good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. I am Daksh. I'm the founder of Blub World Magazine. A very warm welcome to all of you to the Blub World Web Talks 85th edition. In the last 84 episodes, more than 1,000 school leaders have participated on this very platform, shared their ideas, opinions, innovations, and observations on how is the K-12 education sector changing with the pandemic, and what do we think will it evolve into post this pandemic. And right now, when we are trying to put the schools on its wheels through the online bandwagon that we have and the technology bandwagon that we are trying to ride on, let's find from you that what do you think will change in the lives of educators and in the lives of learners as far as skilling, employability, their engagements, the content, the curriculum is concerned. This platform is a bilingual platform, so you can either use English or use Hindi. If you want to use a third language, you can, but I won't get it. So try sticking to these two. थोड़ा सा अंग्रेजी, थोड़ी सी हिंदी, जो आपको अच्छी लगी. And since even the new education policy now promotes multiple use of multiple languages, so we also wish that people use at least these two on this very platform. Before we start, this is a timed engagement so that we are able to finish this activity on time and none of your schedules get disturbed. So I would request everybody, please try to conclude your statements within the stipulated time. Once your speaking time is over, you'll automatically get muted. If you get muted, please don't get offended. It is just to finish this activity on time. If you miss out on speaking something, if you're left, don't worry. The team will stay connected with you and you can still share your ideas, and some of the best ideas will be shared, showcased, published in the coming white papers that the Blub World Magazine prints and will be sharing with nearly 5,500 K-12 education institutions across the globe. So that the next 20-30 minutes are over to you and trying to understand from you that how do you unbox the NEP. The reason for using this unboxing word is very simple. The NEPs or the policies have come in India like pristine documents which are amazingly made and flawlessly what I can say promoted and talked about, and at the end of the day the execution elephant does not move. So let's see, what do you think that how much of this would actually come onto the ground? What are the goods of it and what are the bads of it? And what's your opinion on the new education policy? And more towards, what do you think will be the skills of the future? A very warm welcome to all the guests once again, and welcome to the Blub World Web Talks 85th edition. And let me invite the first special speaker for today, because in every episode we try to bring in people who add experience and ideation beyond the K-12 sector as well. Let's hear it from somebody who can give us a bird's eye view of how do they look at the sector from outside and how has their life changed. I invite Mr. Ankush Kaul, who's the Director for Academics for Extra Marks Education India Private Limited from Bengaluru, Karnataka. Ankush ji, over to you for an opening address and setting the right context for the next 4 minutes.
Okay.
Over to you.
Thank you so much, Daksh and Blub World, for inviting me over. And NEP has been a point of discussion for past few months. And as you rightly said, that we all will have our own perceptions as far as this policy is concerned. So I'll be keeping my points on the table. So first of all, the question that comes to each one of us is, will this NEP give any educational quantum leap to our country? And the answer is uncertain. We don't know. There are various factors, and then there will be at last an elephant on the table that we have to deal with as far as the implementation part of this is concerned. So as of now, we have an education system. That is the only option we are having, though it might sound dysfunctional to many of us, but we have to trust only the current education system. Now, this current education system comes with its own flaws. And I have some data with me, which was provided by, there is annual state regulatory policies in education and all these things are there, which give us certain data. So I would like to share this with you before, jumping on to the conclusions of NEP and how it came into the existence. So the first thing that it's a very interesting data that I would share with you. The first thing is this survey was conducted in almost 1 lakh schools, government plus private, ICSE, CBSE, all the schools, cred schools, pre-primary schools. So the data is fifth class student. A fifth class student of a government school is not even able to read the text of second class. And this problem was found in government schools as well as in private schools. And the data that will shock you is in 2008, there were only 53% students of government schools who could read second class text. Those students were from fifth class. And in 2018, 10 years later, this has further dropped to 44%. So there is a drop of 9% among all the students of all the government schools in the country. But now our eye is on the private schools. Will have private schools done any better? The data is 68% students from private schools of fifth class in 2008 were able to read the texts of second class. And what was the situation in 2018? It just increased by 3%. So came somewhere around 70%. So if I look at the picture of 2018 and comparison of government versus private, the thing was that, we mostly depend upon the private school system in India. Most of the parents trust this system. But if you look at the gap is hardly 44% there and almost 70% here. So the gap is hardly 25%. And this is not something very dramatic number. This is just an average number which could be achieved by normal policies also. So there are two things to introspect upon. One is how to improve the rural educational system which comes through the government schools, and second is how to make the private schools increase this percentage from 20-25 to a 40-45%, because the amount of investments that are going there, the amount of trust that the parents are putting in there, that should also be kept into consideration. Second point, and which is linked with one of the points of the national education policy, the same survey was conducted for 8th class students on division, simple division like 2 by 3 or 500 by 7 or something. And again, there was just a gap of, and this will again, shock you, just a gap of 15%, 15% among the number of students of 8th class.
Ankush, the time was over, but we'll try to come back to you once again. But an amazing start to the discussion and some amazing points that you have actually brought forward. To summarize what you said, and the most important concern with the NEP and the kind of discussions that are going on right now, will it actually be able to give us an education quantum leap? Because हम policies और इस तरह की policies बहुत समय से देखते आ रहे हैं, and पुरानी policies भी अगर आप उठ के देखेंगे तो they are impeccable. And if I talk of the language of the NEP, इसी platform पे just 2 days back there was the editor of Dainik Bhaskar who blatantly pointed it out that अभी जो NEP का document आप लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, in Hindi or in English, both of them have a lot of grammatical errors. So as far as policy is concerned, हम वहीं पे काफी जगह बहुत minuscule point पे ही गलत हो चुके हैं. But again, जो आपने एक बहुत important सी चीज note out करी, that 5th class students not able to read the content of 2nd class students, and उससे भी ज़्यादा stark कि the kind of level of qualification या बच्चे की ability, capability, अगर government schools और private schools में compare कर रहे हैं तो बहुत बड़ा difference नहीं है, जो कि हमारी typical imagination में है कि ऐसा ही होगा. बट ऐसा नहीं है. एंड ऐसा ओवर अ कोर्स ऑफ टाइम जो क्लासेस में आया है, एंड ओवर द कोर्स ऑफ टाइम जो चेंज भी हुआ है, वो चेंज भी दोनों का कोई बहुत ड्रामेटिक नहीं है, वो बहुत आसपास ही है. दे आर नॉट टू फार. एंड व्हेन वी नो दीस थिंग्स, यू कैन एक्चुअली सी वन ट्रेंड गोइंग ऑन इन मेजर सिटीज अक्रॉस इंडिया राइट नाउ, बिकॉज पेरेंट्स अपनी फाइनेंशियल सिक्योरिटी लूज कर चुके हैं. इफ यू एक्चुअली लुक अराउंड विद इन योर सिटी, आप ये देखेंगे कि 11th और 12th क्लास की जो सीट्स गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में अवेलेबल हैं, वो नेक्स्ट सेशन के लिए भर चुकी हैं. मैक्सिमम सिटीज के अंदर गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स के अंदर सीनियर क्लासेस में सीट्स अवेलेबल नहीं है अब, जो कि ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ. ऐसा अब इसलिए हो रहा है, पहली चीज अफोर्डेबिलिटी नहीं है, एंड दूसरा एक बहुत बड़ा फैक्टर जो था कि जो एडेड एडवांटेज या एडेड एज दैट कोचिंग यूज्ड टू ब्रिंग इन, जब वो पेरेंट ऑलरेडी ले रहा है तो फिर स्कूल की यूटिलिटी पे क्वेश्चन मार्क आ जाता है. So with this, what do you think? How would things evolve in the coming times? Let's now listen to our next guest for today, Mr. Avdesh Mahajan, who's the sales head for SchoolPad Technologies, Chandigarh. And from him, we would want to know that how would technology mixed with NEP create a new atmosphere for all of us? Because हम लोगों का challenge ये है, we know the technology bus, we know how to get onto it, but the problem is the driver is somebody who does not understand technology. So let's understand from Avdesh ji that what does he think on the ecosystem and how would the ecosystem evolve in the coming times. Over to Avdesh ji for the next 4 minutes. Please unmute your audio. Again, to remind, this is a time discussion. You might get muted. Please don't get offended. Over to Avdesh ji.
Yeah, thank you, Daksh. Thank you for inviting me. And just taking it forward from what Ankush has rightly pointed out, right? I have been speaking to a lot of school principals, a lot of school owners. And at last, after 34 years, they are saying at last that we have moved forward in terms of the NEP. It was a long pending demand for a lot of education to move along with the kind of technological advancements which are happening across various sectors. We have been seeing around a class third a student doing coding, right? A class fifth student going to NASA. So these are kind of challenges which have been faced by a lot of schools, where the demand for the student to upliftment them is coming from beyond the schools rather than coming from the schools, because the education policy was not in tune in terms of what was happening across in the life of the child across the circle. It has the ability, right, and the potential to be a game changer in the long run. But as rightly said, the elephant is in the town, right, and the devil is in the details. Till the time we don't implement those particular facts in black and white, it will be very, very difficult to implementation of technology even in the schools. What this particular pandemic has done across for the schools is it has made sure that all the schools go online in terms of the teaching part. And it has helped in terms of a lot of technological organizations to move across and, have those particular products available in the market and give those particular things available to the schools. But again, the challenge, we have moved across in terms of the education for the students. What about the teachers, right? The B.Ed is still that particular elephant which is there for the last 35, 36 years on the same content. We need to reskill the teachers, because if they are not reskilled, right, they will not be able to skill those particular students in the right way. The NEP makes sure that the technological advancements happens in the private schools as well as for the government schools. But again, as Daksh and Ankush rightly pointed out, the percentage of technology being used for the last 10 years in the government schools is minimal. When we say minimal, why? Because there's no, hello? Yeah, because there is no advancement for the government schools to move across and adopt those particular technologies in the school, right? So it has a potential to be a game changer for the social and economic fabric of the society. And that's the power of education, which normally happens across. Yeah, am I audible now? Yeah. So what happens right now is, once we speak in terms of the government schools and the private schools, right? These are two different elephants. One elephant is a juggernaut. One elephant is a slow elephant, right? So we will have a different kind of a mechanism in terms of technology per se in advancement of technologies. We can say that the technology has reached those particular levels wherein you have mobile phones, but there is only one mobile phone for.
Thank you so much, Avdesh. The time was over. To summarize what you said, that now at least we can say that a big wait for the NEP, for a new education policy that we were waiting for, and people say it for the last 34 years, has now ended, and we have a policy now to look to. But the problem again with the policy that it is a concurrent subject of the constitution, and every state will have their own say on it, and the policy will find a lot of confusion floating around it because of the states having opinions and people having a lot more opinions. Development in education or the kind of learning did not come from schools, jo ki kafi kuch hua, and a lot of new types and sorts of organizations found space and existence in the whole sector. It has brought all schools at least online, and teaching to online aayi gayi hai, we are very sure of it. and learning is something that's still in the question. B.Ed syllabus या teacher training जो है, उसका जो content या curriculum है, that's too old, and online teaching, if I put it in very straight words, अभी के teachers के syllabus में नहीं था, तो उनके out of syllabus काम है जो उन्हें अभी करना पड़ रहा है in online classes. Technology advancement for private and government schools was supposed to happen together, but one very important thing, if we talk of a country like India, kariban 55,000 villages across the nation are in a network blackout, not in an internet blackout, a network blackout. They do not have any sort of mobile network reaching to them. And if we talk of internet percolation, only 25% of rural India has internet percolation. And more importantly, we were trying, or we were in the space of building an modern education ecosystem in the villages, and the epicenter of which was a midday meal, and which cannot be delivered virtually. And when right now we talk of a lot of online classes and a lot of engagement and a lot of engaging content, 75% of India and majorly all the students are not continuing with their teaching learning process. So now it's time to listen to the other end of the story. Abhi humne opinions sun li, now let's listen to the real struggles of the people who are actually fighting it every single day, because next leg is for the practitioners on how do they think, how is life changing for them, for their teachers, for their students. And just before we start, एक बहुत बड़ा change जो सारे schools की जिंदगी में आ गया है, is that the school size or the classroom size has quadrupled. क्योंकि अभी तक आपकी क्लास में बच्चे होते थे, अब बच्चे हैं, उनके पेरेंट्स हैं, शायद ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स भी हैं, कोई कजन भी है और शायद कोई फ्रेंड भी है. सो एट दिस पॉइंट आप एक क्लास को नहीं पढ़ा रहे हैं, आप टिपिकली पूरी एक कम्युनिटी को पढ़ा रहे हैं. एंड दैट्स अ वेरी बिग चेंज व्हेन वी टॉक ऑफ अ स्कूल, बिकॉज द कंप्लीट टीचिंग प्रोसेस और द स्कूल इज ट्रांसपेरेंट एंड एवरी सिंगल स्टेप, स्टेटमेंट, spelling is now scrutinizable by a parent. So let's see what's their opinion on how do you think has education changed or will change in the coming times. Let's now listen from the first principal for today, Miss Ashu Vadhava, who's the principal of Paramita Heritage School, Karimnagar, Telangana. Ashu ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
Very good evening to everyone. It's an interesting platform I am being. So I just like to start off with what is, since Mr. Gaur said we want to talk about the in-house happenings. So if we talk of the skills which NEP talks about, this is what is being going on in many schools. Though there is a difference in various schools across India, the types of schools, starting from tribal to the so-called corporate schools. But skills have been an integral part of many of them. I started from a government school. I left government school, I was a principal in a government school for 10 years. And now I'm into a private sector for past 3 years. So the inherent difference I can still relate. And I'm in touch with that school. So what is happening in those schools is that, in this pandemic, they're just maybe resorting to WhatsApp. And in schools which are, cozy and, working, and we are working on some platform, and the corporate schools might go ahead and give that, even give a tablet. If you go to America, they've been even, offering the tablet to the children to give home, to take home. So the point is the technology is being metered as it is required by the people. Now the skills. The NEP does talk about the skills, right from the very beginning. The numeracy and the literacy is, put down. The knowledge is put down to a lower level at the primary and the pre-primary stage. So it talks about the, gross motor skills and all those skills. And coming to, the middle section, they talk about the various things that they can offer, right from AI to coding. And then from the secondary, they still talk about you can take one skill and the child can enhance it. Now the role is at the micro level of the schools. Micro level, when we go ahead, there'll be many problems. So it is the role of the schools to work on the micro level and, whatever the policy is giving a framework. The things were happening. So this is one document which I say is giving one very important thing, and that is a guideline for evaluating learning outcomes. If you see, the major difference that I feel, in this policy is the earlier policies were talking about the guidelines of infrastructure. There were hundreds of infrastructure things which you had to work on, more than 100, to get a school in line. But today, this policy talks out of the learning outcomes. So when we have a document which talks about skills, which talks about learning documents, outcomes, which talks about enhancement of technology, which talks about giving teachers power, which talks about collaborative teaching where the parents are equally important. This is very important. This policy will never be implemented if the parents and the other community is not taken into consideration. This can never go on from one side. The school can never be part of it. So the point is, things were being done. Things like experiential learning, activity-based learning, PBL, and project-based learning were all going on. So one thing is, these things which were going on in various schools, even in government schools or in the so-called corporate schools, the crux now, you have a platform where they can be evaluated. Evaluated in the sense, I'll not say evaluated, I'll say it can be assessed. The point is, assessment will lead to one very important quotient, and that is, end of the day, learning how to learn. I will sum up this policy into one very big thing, that is learning how to learn.
Thank you so much, Ashu ma'am. The time was over, but some amazing points that you've actually brought forth. That skills was an integral part of schooling till now, even before this policy. And एक बहुत बड़ा जो what we can say a departure from an infra-based guideline from policy to a learning-based guideline, finally, which we wanted for a long time. हम शायद केवल स्कूल के square footage को नहीं count करना चाह रहे थे, हम उसके beyond भी देखना चाह रहे थे, जो अब इस policy ने हमें दिया है, that let's talk about content and not just about आपका square footage, आपकी tiles, आपके pillars, आपके classrooms. इसके बियॉन्ड की भी कोई बात की जाए. एंड प्राइवेट स्कूल्स और गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में एक बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस जो आप बता रहे हैं अपने एक्सपीरियंस से और जो है भी, दैट अ लॉट ऑफ प्राइवेट स्कूल्स हैड LMS, लर्निंग मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम्स, वर्किंग फॉर देम. फॉर गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स इट वाज व्हाट्सएप. एंड व्हाट्सएप शायद एक ऐसा एजुकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी प्लेटफॉर्म बन गया है which was not supposed to be edtech, but right now is being extensively used for edtech. So that's also something that हमने टेक्नोलॉजी में अपना सोल्यूशन ढूंढ लिया where we could find it best. And role of the school will be actually to take this policy to a micro level, because ये guideline है, ये कानून नहीं बनेगा. This is a policy. There's a difference between that these two, and more importantly, क्योंकि concurrent subject है, तो opinionation बहुत होगी और हर state में implementation में difference होगा. So trying to get to the spirit of the NEP is very important, and then trying to build an execution around that spirit. And parent और school के बीच की equity या इन दोनों को बराबरी से देखना, इनका एक stakeholder approach or stakeholder engagement approach is something which has been very well told and tried to be expressed, asserted through this NEP. And common assessment का एक तरीका आप सबके पास आना शुरू हो गया है. If you talk of skills, if you talk of experiential learning, if you talk of multilingual teaching, and whatever different new things that you are experimenting, अब उसको legitimize कर दिया है आपका NEP ने, so that let's do it. They are needed now, even by the policy. So thank you so much, Ashu ma'am, for bringing those amazing points out. Let's now invite Dr. Asokan Purushottam, who's the principal, Delhi Public School, Raigad, from Chhattisgarh. Ashokan sir, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio. A very warm welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, all of you. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, right. So regarding our learning system, I'm having certain concerns. Especially I'm relating all these issues with the education of the primary classes. Actually, what we are teaching them is not useful for them to meet the struggling part of the later part of the life. And all of us know that the lesson what we learned up to 10th standard or 12th standard or even for the graduation classes are not solving any of the real life problems. So top the lives, we have to look forward how this NEP is getting implemented. So we can see that normally a child was going to a school and the child used to get adapted with the situation in the school. Now, the individualized education, when it comes, education has to adapt with each individual. Then each individual will be having their own individual skills which needs to be developed. So the technology part, what we are talking about, for example, for the online education, all are using their mobile or lap or tab or whatever it is. that is only one device which we are using for the teaching part or learning part. But when we speak about the technology, in order to run with the same speed of the world, what we need to update in our learning part, that is to be learned. I can make it little more clear. In order to get more crop from the agricultural field, what kind of technology can be taken from Israel and how it can be adopted in our field. That is the part of technology which helps in real life. But here in our education system, these kids are not at all taught any of the real life situations. So what I need to say, pinpoint here is that primary education is getting a freedom from English language. It is clearly stated that mother tongue can be used. So the concepts will be more clear to the child rather than just kind of a rote memorization the child was doing in most of the English medium schools. State schools are different in that matter. Whatever they are learning, and the children are those who are getting more of experiential learning there. In the real life, when we see, those children are more using this knowledge in their life, and they are more productive also in certain way. And most of the time we can see that the children from the CBSE schools and ICSE schools are not able to solve the normal life issues. So here for the primary.
Thank you, Ashokan sir. The time was over. We'll try to come back to you. What you said, and to summarize some amazing points again, that you are concerned about the kind of content that we are trying to deliver or trying to teach during the primary age or the primary education, which is not good enough to solve the real life problems that we'll be facing in the advanced professional life that we have. Personalized learning has now become even more critical. And when we talk of technology, let's find technology that actually suits our industrial requirements at the same time, where you quoted the example of agri-tech from Israel coming in. And we are not getting the right mix of technology and real life problem solution in our curriculums and the content and the teaching that we have at the moment. Government school students are much more life savvy, what we can understand. Tech savvy शायद नहीं होंगे, but life savvy वो शायद ज़्यादा है, and real life scenarios ज़्यादा अच्छे से handle कर लेते हैं. So thank you so much, Ashokan sir. Let's now listen to the next speaker for today, Miss Amita Bedi, who's a counselor at Petit Seminary School, Puducherry. Amita ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio. You're still muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Good evening to everyone, and thank you, Mr. Gaur, for giving me this opportunity to talk to you people as a freelancer. I'm basically I was a school PG. Then I became a principal, and now, according to my choice, I have opted to become a freelancer, emotional counselor for the students in the private school as well as in the government school. So what I appreciate about this NEP 2020 is that since this policy is talking about the initiating experiments and doing practical things rather than the theory part, which I was really concerned before so many years, I was literally praying for this thing that the people should, some government policy should come where the students can do the things practically rather than opening their books and reading it and then mugging up and then writing down the question answers and all that stuff, you know. And at that time also, when I was an economics PGT in one of the renowned international school in Delhi, I used to take my students to RBI to teach them what are the functions of Reserve Bank of India. So that things which now this new policy has initiated about doing practical things rather than the theory part, I'm really, really very happy and appreciate about this policy of the government, NEP. And at the same time, since now I'm into the shoe of counseling the students that how they can overcome their emotional problems which they are facing from level to level. Since I was taking the students counseling from kindergarten to class 5 primary, Then from the next level, from 6th standard to 8th, and then 9th to 12th. So every level, their emotional things, they vary, you know. So what happens is they have a different age slot where me as a counselor can guide them and take them outside the classroom, outside the walls of the classroom, and teach them that how they can gain confidence. What my main mission as a teacher initially was not to create a fear of any of the subject in the mind of a student. First of all, we have to take out their phobias as a teacher. And then as a principal, I used to call my students to my office and I used to call them as my friends. You know, I never wanted to have a very wide gap between me and my students as a principal also. And then I found that I used to tell those my senior students in the school when I was a principal, you are my soldiers. And then they used to report to me that, ma'am, this thing is happening a little wrong in this point of school related to this teacher, that teacher. So I used to speak to all those people very nicely. But then when I became a counselor, apparently now I'm a counselor, I love to take the students for the practical things, you know.
Thank you so much, Amita ma'am. The time is over. But some amazing points again, that NEP is something that finally moved education from the rote learning and the book learning to a practical exposure of things and real life connect of these, an application of education rather, when we must say, because once we learn applicability, that concept remains with us for a very long time, rather than when we just try to understand the concept of mug it up. And gaining confidence or putting confidence in the student should be the core purpose of learning, because at the end of the day, you must give him one very important skill of resilience. Ki kuch bhi ho jaye, ladte rahiye. You will find a solution to things. Don't worry, and buckle up at any point of time. And taking down the walls between the principal and the students. This is something that a lot of people tried, but over a course of time, abhi apne aap ho gaya hai sare schools mein, sabhi jagahon pe, because the problem is now a teacher is not giving them something that they never had. He's basically modulating information to create knowledge. So we now need to find much more better ways for engaging them, because the fear circuit that mostly a lot of schools and education system uses as, you know, in the garb of discipline now does not work. It now has to shift to a reward circuit. Otherwise, the learner won't stay on the virtual troll. वो खुला जरूर होगा, but वो शायद YouTube देख रहा होगा, आपको नहीं पता है, because एक बहुत बड़ा challenge जो virtual classes में है, that you don't know who the backbencher is. They're so well disguised that you don't know that at all. So now we need is a big army of active learners who are ready to actually learn and delve deep into education. Thank you so much, Amita ji. Let's now hear from the next speaker for today, Ms. Usha Iyer, Director of the Bangalore School and the Green School, Bengaluru, Karnataka. Usha ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio. A very warm welcome.
A very warm welcome to all of you in the panel, and a very new normal namaste. So this is a new normal namaste because of social distancing. So I'm Usha Iyer, I'm the Director of the Green School, Bangalore, and the question of NEP comes much later to me. I have goals in mind. What are goals going to be achieved? The equity in the equality, and the kind of, they're talking about the kind of the sustainable, the global sustainable model. So for us, it's nothing very new in Bangalore and for the Green School Bangalore. Before the COVID and before this Corona and before we started doing this digital literacy, we were very much doing all this what NEP has been talking about. We were doing flipped classroom curriculum. We were having this different kind of methodology, which was we had a hybrid and blended learning, rather, doing an interface with the students as well as doing the digital literacy. It was not new. I'm little worried about the schools, which is very traditional and which needs to change. So the NEP is just a blueprint which has to be executed. And I think every principal, every school, not only the infrastructure, but also the andragogy, like training of teachers is very important. So coming to the point, like interdisciplinary approach, connecting all the subjects together is what many schools, international schools are doing. I'm very happy with one thing about the national education policy is it's actually connected us on the international platform. The evaluation has changed, the assessment is going to change, and of course the teaching methodology is changing, and of course the training of the teachers, which is very important, and that is the crux of the entire thing. So I think that what I really liked about NEP is, which anyway our school was doing it before and they are doing it, is we're talking about internship. I think all the students have to be exposed to real life and putting them into internship after the grade 10 and grade 12. Then only the career will be formed. Not just dump a career on a child and say, this is what you have to do. The parents start thinking, or the teachers start dumping a career on the child. I think put the child in a real life situation, start making them work in that particular career, and probably, the internship will really help them after the grade 12. So this, I am very happy about the vocational part of it, which NEP is talking about. Again, NEP is saying that you can take any subject with anything. This is again coming as IGCSE and IB. IGCSE IB is already talking about it. They're saying you can take a history with a physics, and you can take a physics with a kind of economics. I think this is again a very good option for our students, because if I'm very good at something, I have again a career options in front of me. I've got various other career options, not that I'm a stereotype going to be an engineer or a doctor. So I think that we are looking at a very wider aspect. We're looking at achieving the 2030 education goals. And Modi ji has already planned in 2018-19, and he was talking about Atmanirbhar plan long back. And that Atmanirbhar plan has not even come into action, and NCERT and MHRD has not even put it across. And before this, NEP has come across. And I'm very happy about this NCERT. They're taking the inputs of the CBSE principals, their teachers, and the management. And they're taking our inputs and they're going to reframe it. In 2021, it's going to come, the whole framework. And
thank you so much, Usha ma'am. To summarize what all you said, since the time was up, that SDG goals being in the mind, Sustainable Development Goals, जो United Nations ने define किए 17 goals हैं, जिसमें चौथा गोल है एजुकेशन का, एंड वी आर ट्राइंग टू गो इनटू द सब पॉइंट्स ऑफ द फोर्थ गोल, एंड वो एनईपी ने बहुत अच्छे से मार्क आउट कर दिया है सबके लिए. एंड यस, अ लॉट ऑफ टियर 1 सिटी schools and some of the most digitally advanced schools were already doing what the NEP now states, and बहुत जगह ऐसा कहा जा रहा है कि आप IB और कैम्ब्रिज करिकुलम में जो देखते थे वो अब CBSE करिकुलम में आ गया NEP के थ्रू, या रादर सारे ही करिकुलम्स में आ गया अक्रॉस इंडिया. एंड एंड्रोलॉजी और टीचर ट्रेनिंग, इसके अंदर आई थिंक द मेडिकल प्रोफेशन का एक अच्छा सा कॉन्सेप्ट है जो लग जाना चाहिए. अब देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड कंटीन्यूअस मेडिकल ट्रेनिंग, CMT, कि आपको कंटीन्यूअस ट्रेनिंग लेनी होती है, सर्टिफिकेशंस लेने होते हैं, तो वो अब आपको टीचर्स के लिए भी कर देना चाहिए कि हर लेवल पे आपको सर्टिफिकेशन लेना होगा, क्योंकि अब स्किलिंग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो गई, क्योंकि आपका बच्चा जिसको आप पढ़ा रहे हैं वो आपसे काफी गुना आगे है, और आप खुद एक जनरेशन के हैं, अपनी पिछली जनरेशन का ज्ञान लेके आए हैं और अगली को पढ़ा रहे हैं. एंड विद द पेस ऑफ चेंज दैट्स गोइंग ऑन अराउंड यू, it's very difficult to stay with what you already know. You need to keep knowing new and new things. Upskilling बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. Internships to students is again going to be very very important, कि at least आपको वो एक career stream का taste दे देगा, आपको titillate करके छोड़ देगा कि अच्छा हाँ ये मेरे लिए अच्छा है या नहीं है. You can actually choose out of that. And बहुत अच्छा तरीका है for career selection that let them have a buffet of careers. वो थोड़ा थोड़ा सब टेस्ट कर लें, and at the end they know कि हाँ मुझे मील में क्या चाहिए. And putting children in a real life scenario and easy subject maneuverability, आसान entry, आसान exit, आसान selection, and making things much more real. So this is what NEP has done for us. Thank you so much, Usha ma'am, for that amazing perspective. Let's now invite the next speaker for today, Mr. Sajid Ali, Principal, Oxford School from Kollam, Kerala. Sajid sir, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio, and a very warm welcome.
Good evening to all. And thank you, Mr. Dash and Beloved, for providing me such an opportunity to speak in front of tall words from education world. And today we are talking about the new educational policy. Rightly, Ms. Musa just mentioned that many of the schools, those who are into methods, have been doing the same what NEP talks about. But the problem is how to bring the uniformity across. It's not about the tier 1 or tier 2. NEP is a very good idea which talks about the knowledge conversion to skills. And obviously the education has to be a marriage between knowledge and skills. The aim of education in ancient India was not just the acquisition of knowledge for life in this world, or life beyond schooling, but for the complete realization and liberation of the self. What NEP right now is talking about. if the execution of the policy is true to this spirit, then it will not just change the outer appearance of the Indian education, but it will entirely change the education system. But as an educationist, I'm a little concerned. It is very good, and it actually the education what it should be, it speaks like that. The issue is how we are going to empower our teachers, because from the micro level we need to take our teachers well skilled. Otherwise, once again I doubt, or I have some concern or doubts that I still remember in 2009 when CBSE brought the CC pattern and then dropped. When the CC pattern was introduced, everybody was confused. Then what happened? The main spirit of the concept was lost somewhere. And then they had to stop it. The main concern is how we will skill our teachers, because they are with some certain kind of mindset right now during the pandemic. The teachers are taking online classes and all. I have been talking to several teachers across South and North, and they have a lot of issues. They never happen to take the classes through virtual platforms and all. And anyhow, this was the unexpected pandemic. So anyhow, they cope up with it.
Thank you, Sajid sir. You brought an amazing perspective to the discussion that हमने ये बातें तो बहुत सारी कर ली कि पॉलिसी में what ought to be होना चाहिए वो तो अच्छे से डिफाइन हो गया, बट इस ought को एक्चुअली हाउ कैसे होगा, इसका एग्जीक्यूशन कैसे होगा, उसके रिसोर्सेज कहाँ से होंगे, उसके लिए आप लोग कहाँ से लाएंगे, कंटेंट कहाँ से लाएंगे, इज नाउ द बिग क्वेश्चन. बिकॉज इस पॉलिसी के साथ में बहुत सारे, जैसे हर लॉ के साथ में एक एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑर्डर आता है, इस पॉलिसी के साथ में बहुत सारे एग्जीक्यूशन लेवल ऑर्डर्स हमें चाहिए कि जिसमें कंटेंट हो, फ्रेमवर्क हो, पेडागोजी हो, और पूरे इस काम को करने का हाउ का जवाब हो. क्योंकि ऑलरेडी हम एक बार CCE से अपने हाथ जला के बैठे हैं, तो अब हम छाछ को भी फूंक के पीना चाह रहे हैं. सो वी नीड अ लॉट more information, and right now we are in the limbo and trying to clear that confusion on where would this policy lead us. So thank you so much. Let's now invite the next speaker for today, Mr. Devashish Dwivedi, who's the principal, Dream India School from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Devashish ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio. A very warm welcome. आपको अपना ऑडियो चालू करना पड़ेगा सर. Your audio is muted. Yeah.
Okay, so thanks, and thanks Daksh, and namaste to everyone. Actually, in today's world, where digitally savvy and social media oriented generation are very high up on this stage, so we come to the topic, and thanks Blub World Wave Talk also organized this nicely program on the topic. What is the skill-based learning? First, we each and everyone know about the skill-based learning. Okay, it's aimed toward the building of skill of the student who is already acquired knowledge through the classroom lecture, and also encourage them to the experiment. So mostly experiment level knowledge is very important here. Okay, so why we implement the skill-based learning method is that this is the most important thing. We already taken many type of classroom classes, many type of classroom lectures, but the skill-based learning systems is we are far away from skill-based learning system in our curriculum-based learning systems. What we are continuing. So first thing is one thing I also want to point out, that what is the difference between public, private school and government schools. Some plus points are coming there from many participants, and some different other also in private school. So the spark creativity, I think the spark creativity, what is only come from mostly private government schools. The reason is only because they have given independent approach to solve any problem, and in a creative way. So it is a very important thing. So spark creativity is only come from there. This is the reason, because they have got immense freedom for that. Okay. And second thing is very important for a skill-based learning is develop critical thinking. most of the students on this times, analytical and critical thinking skills are it's maybe up to not up to date. They have, but it's not up to date. What type of requirement is here, and in the classroom also they have not for that. In our courses also that is not so. So that is not the problem of the student. My second point is enhanced collaborative problem solving is also not in our curriculum till now. Many schools are creative about that, but it may be we are lack from many steps back from there also. Okay, and one thing is also oral communication is very important. Most of the English medium school is not doing this because of the background of the students also.
Thank you so much, Devashish ji. Again, adding some more perspective on the skilling part of it and language part of it, और बहुत majorly independence या freedom of the learner. Before this talk comes to a conclusion, because हमने majorly सभी की राय सुन ली है, let's now listen to the special speakers once again on their concluding thoughts on how do they think, are the practitioners thinking, and practitioners की सोच से कैसे बहुत सारी policies, decision making हर level पे change होगी. I once again invite Ankush ji for closing statements for the next 2 minutes. Ankush ji, over to you for your last concluding thoughts.
Okay, hi. Thank you everyone for all the exciting points that you have brought forward today. And the closing remarks would be, we all have to work in collaboration for implementation of NEP. It's much required for the country at this point in time. And as Mrs. Usha also pointed out that there is a Mission 2030, right? So we have to look at Mission 2030, start working from today, hand in hand in all the entire collaboration and make this dream come true. It will happen by doing micromanagement at school levels, creating school clusters, training the teachers, and all those points that NEP covers. And this requires a meticulous and a dedicated support of each one of the staff from the school, as well as the government support. So that's all I would like to say towards the end of this discussion. And the points that I raised earlier on the difference of government and private schools and all this, I think I was coming from the point that is the major reason that mathematics and languages have been introduced in the first 5 years of the NEP as per the new, system of 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So that is where I was coming from at that point. And it has become very important at this stage today that a 5th class student should know how to do the maths and how to learn the local as well as the English languages correctly. Last but not the least, there has also been a provision which was raised in this discussion also about the foreign language. And I'm very happy that foreign languages are being given preference, because this will help Indian students, to get better jobs and understand the business modules outside the country. But at the same time, it makes me unhappy because Mandarin, which is a Chinese language, has been omitted out because of all the conflicts that we are having with China, which should not have been done, because if that was kept, we would have had a better understanding of the Chinese strategies and policies. So these are my final points. And thank you so much for having me, Daksh, and thank you all the speakers.
Thank you so much, Ankush ji. Let's now listen to the concluding thoughts of Avdesh ji. Avdesh ji, over to you for the next 2 minutes. I think there's some internet issue again. So no issues. So अंकुश जी ने जो बहुत एक इंपॉर्टेंट सी बात बोली कि मल्टीलिंगुअलिटी जो इस एनईपी में प्रमोट की गई है, वो हमें फाइनली एक नई स्किल सिखाएगी. अभी तक हम एज स्टूडेंट्स प्राइमरी सेक्शन में अपनी जिंदगी के एक ही चीज सीख रहे होते थे, और वो कॉन्सेप्ट्स नहीं होते थे, वो ट्रांसलेशन होता था. क्योंकि हम सोचते अपनी लोकल भाषा में थे या अपनी मदर टंग में थे, और बेसिकली हर कॉन्सेप्ट को इंग्लिश से अपनी भाषा में कन्वर्ट करना सीख रहे होते थे. एंड फाइनली वी आर गोइंग टू गो बियॉन्ड दैट वी वांट टू ट्रांसलेशन एनीमोर, और हम अपनी इंग्लिश प्राइड से वापस आकर इंडियन प्राइड की तरफ जाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. एंड जस्ट टू गिव यू एन एग्जांपल ऑफ हाउ रिच वी आर एज अ लैंग्वेज, अगर आप इंडिया के एजुकेशन सिस्टम की बात करें, जिसको इंडिया में गुरुकुल सिस्टम या जिनके ऊपर बहुत सारी बातचीत करी गई, या इंडिया के पुराण या वेदास, जहां से वो सारी पॉलिसीज एंड सिस्टम्स आए, जहां से हम शुरू हुए, उसमें जो व्यक्ति सूचना देता है उसे अध्यापक कहते हैं. जो सूचना के साथ थोड़ा सा ज्ञान जोड़ देता है उसे उपाध्याय कहते हैं. जो ज्ञान और सूचना के साथ में कौशल या स्किल जोड़ दे उसे आचार्य कहते हैं। जो इन सारी चीजों के बाद में एक डीप अंडरस्टैंडिंग जोड़ दे उसे पंडित कहते हैं। एंड जो फाइनली इन सब में विजडम जोड़ दे उसे गुरु कहते हैं। और इन सारी चीजों के लिए अंग्रेजी में एक ही टर्म है, टीचर। सो आई थिंक वी नीड मच मोर varied, diverse, and much more embraceful attitude towards our own ethical values, cultures, and whatever we already had. हमें हमारी self pride या ethnicity की self pride को शायद वापस जिंदा करने की जरूरत है, and to an extent not just to take it from the political perspectives or views of it, let's take the content or the knowledge perspective of it. Before this talk concludes, a very small some ideas so that there's some food for thought before we meet next. अगर आप अभी तक की हिस्ट्री अपनी देखेंगे, अपने आसपास की देखेंगे या ह्यूमन काइंड की देखेंगे, तो आपको ये समझ आएगा कि दुनिया में ऐसा बहुत कम बार होता है that the community around you is ready to listen, is ready to experiment. और ऐसा केवल तब होता है when we as a society face an existential crisis. And this pandemic has exactly done that. So if you ever wanted to experiment anything in education, this is the perfect time, because whatever new you have got, people would listen to you. So try building a habit of writing an observation paper every single day, because वो एक पन्ना जो आप लिख देंगे, that would become the basis of innovations for the coming generations. Before this talk comes to an end, let me talk about the core spirit of Blub World. Where does Blub come from? Blub has a simple motive which works on 3 words: teens inspiring teens. इसलिए हर महीने हम ऐसे टीनेजर्स ढूंढ रहे होते हैं जो जिंदगी में कुछ बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं. And a very small story of one such teenager who right now lives in Melbourne, Australia, had her first painting show at the age of 2, had a complete sold out show at the age of 4, was invited by one of the most affluent galleries in the whole of Europe at the age of 9. Right now, she earns in millions and is just 13 years old. And that's Elita Andre, the cover page of Blub World last month. So every single month,
Excellent.
We're trying to do just one very simple thing. क्योंकि अब आप जिस generation को पढ़ा रहे हैं, their just teaching won't work. You will have to inspire. So thank you people for participating and being a part of the Blub World Web Talks. I hope
I just want, Mr. Gaur, I just want to end it. Hello.
Please.
Mr. Gaur, I just want to end it with Sir Ken Robinson's words. Said, if you want to transform education, that's the way to go, not reform it. And I think you have to really think about not to kill the creativity of the children. And you think about creativity of the children to be killed, then you teach the way you're teaching today. So teach the way the child wants to learn, not the way we want to teach. So with that, I want to end it.
Absolutely. जैसे बच्चा पढ़ना चाहता है उस मोड में पढ़ाइए, आप जैसे पढ़ाना चाहते हैं वैसे नहीं. Let teaching take a back seat and learning take the front one. So I hope you enjoyed the last 60 minutes. Thank you so much for participating in the Blub World Web Talks 85th edition. If you enjoyed, you can open your audio, and if you want to participate in the future sessions, say a big yes. Thank you so much for being a part of it.
Yes,
Thank you. Yes.
And a good job, Mr. Gaur, and all the panelists.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, very well maneuvered. I mean,
Thank you, people. Thank you so much.
excellent. Thank you. Thank you for inviting.